Welcome to the Munchkin Minute, your bi-weekly look into some tabletop gaming news and more. I'm your host, Dan, the Board Game Man, and it's your news for August 25th, 2025. So I'm going to catch up on some news because there's not a whole lot going on. I got some news from Gen Con and some other things I've been kind of holding on to for a while, and then we've got some crowdfunding. So not a whole lot today as we're kind of in this lull before that Essen kind of release schedule and some more Kickstarters coming out and such right before the big holiday season. Anyway, first up at Gen Con, Restoration Games, they announced their immediate kind of future plans in their blueprints presentation. There was a ton of great announcements with new Unmatched factions, some packs, and another announcement for Thunder Road, Vendetta, and Return to Dark Tower, and a HellBoy Unmatched announcement. So to get into these a little bit further, first up they talked about kind of how Battle Monsters is coming along, some more art, and also kind of their plans with that, and the fact that they've got a kind of a solo Automa mode. There's also plans for Thunder Road Vendetta campaign version. That's going to be designed by Jerry Hawthorne, who you know from Mice and Mystics, Familiar Tales, and Wandering Galaxy. That'll be crowdfunding next year. There's going to be a new Return to Dark Tower. We're going to see expeditions. That's going to have 4 different expeditions, new heroes, new gear, new treasures, and more, giving more challenges and levels and levers to toggle for variability and difficulty in your Return to Dark Tower experience. Return to Dark Tower is so good. If you haven't gotten it, this may be a good way. I'm sure there'll be a crowdfunding next year for that, so that you may want to get in on that, because I have it. It is great. It is a ton of fun, and also really good solo as well. So another couple Unmatched here. So you've got Bruce Lee versus Ali. So now that they're kind of actually released that kind of promo that they had for Bruce Lee. So if anybody was holding on to those, trying to wait for the price to go all the way up, you may want to sell it before this set comes out. I don't think it'll be any different than this one. But I know that was a highly sought after promo that was in limited release. They're also going to be reprinting Cobble and Fog next year. There's also a new Unmatched called Stars and Stripes. This is going to have Rosie the Riveter, Wyatt Earp, George Washington, and John Henry, which is sounds like a lot of fun in that little set there. And finally, they've got an Unmatched Hellboy coming out. They've got a new licensed Unmatched set for Hellboy. 4-character box set will be released next year, and we'll have some art by Mike Mignola himself. And they've got signups there. I'll put a little link to this page where they had the announcements, because you can always get you can sign up to get more announcements from Restoration Games. Next up, Chip Theory Games released Fight 5. This is a light card game based on kind of that traditional game of War. This one will be out in September. I've got a copy of this. It is kind of fun. So, I mean, War has not always been one of my favorite things in the world to play as a card, because there's not really a whole lot of strategy or any strategy to it at all. This particular one, this will be a $25 for the deluxe package. And the reason why it's deluxe, I think there's a cheaper version, but the deluxe ones have some really kind of cool finish on the cards. So you don't have to sleeve them at all or anything like that. But the way you play is you're going to have a set of cards that you think that goes up to 12 or 13 of the cards. You're going to use 5 cards each round. You're going to have 5 cards that you're going to be fighting over between you and your opponents. You can play from up to 5 players. And then you're kind of placing cards face down, and then you're kind of going on war. You have to get over the card that's face down. These are going to kind of be the cards you're fighting over. Your card has to be over that card number, or you can bluff and not be over that. And then also over the other person's card as well. And if you're defeat them, you get all 3 of those cards, or if you tie them, they'll stay there until the next round, and then you're going to be fighting over those extra cards. And then at the end of the round, you're going to kind of add up the double-digit cards, and then who has the most cards, and also the star card, and then you're going to see how many points you got. You're going to play either 3 rounds or until you get to 200. Really cool little, very light card game. These are very chill, kind of family weight, still strategy to it, but more of a family weight, kind of what I like to call these kind of holiday games where you just whip those out and play them after dinner as well. Next up, Slugfest Games has released another standalone expansion for the Red Dragon Inn. Red Dragon Inn is a lot of fun, just kind of a lot of cheeky fun to play these card games. It's got a little bit of social to it as well. But this next set is revolving around the web series Adventure is Nigh. So this is the Red Dragon Adventure is Nigh. This will be $40, and it should be out as of this release of this show right now. Fantasy Flight Games has announced a new expansion for Twilight Imperium 4. That's TI4's Thunder's Edge. This one should be out in October of this year for about $130. It's got a lot of cool stuff to it. So you've got, there's going to be a new planet called Thunder's Edge. Now there's going to be new factions that'll be out that are going to take to the galactic stage. There's going to be new worlds there to explore, more galactic events, which will change the rules of the games. So like they say, ensures no two playthroughs will ever be the same. And there's also a new Twilight's Fall mode. This is a new way to play TI4. You're going to be taking up the mantle of Mad Makat King, build your own custom faction from scraps of interstellar civilization, and battle to become the supreme ruler of the galaxy. This mode comes with its own spread of unique components, making it almost entirely new game. It sounds really, really cool in a cool way, especially people that play TI4 pretty much like monthly or weekly. This is going to be a good way to kind of change things up there. Couple of releases from Asmodee here. At Gen Con, Asmodee revealed, and they kind of had, I saw some people walking around with this. I don't know if it was released or just kind of some people got copies. Anyway, Star Wars Super Teams. This is a really light racing game. This will be out next month of September. This will be about $30. This is kind of a lightweight, kind of family racing game with some strategy, kind of using your cards for movement and kind of depending on how, like where you move and when you play the certain cards, you can get in people's way and such. But so it is very, very light. They put this one at a 1.0. So you're talking very much a mass market kind of very light game, but with a little more strategy than just roll and write. And this plays really, really quick in less than an hour, probably about 30 minutes. But sticking to kind of the light part of things from Asmodee, Asmodee Kids is putting out Splendor Kids. This will be out in October. It should be about $30. And this is what they're calling an introduction for kids to strategic gameplay. As they said on their kind of website, and I'll put a little link to this, a child-friendly version of the hit game Splendor. Splendor Kids teaches resource management and tactical thinking in a colorful, cooperative setting. There's a lot of other things to it, but just looking at the box and such, this does look like a pretty cool way to play. So I think adults and kids alike, adults will have a lot of fun playing this with their kids and seeing what the strategy is about. And it'd be cool just to watch kids. It's really fun. So when my son was really younger, just watching him get strategic mind and gameplay, the Lords of Waterdeep is kind of what I introduced to him at like 8 to 10. Somehow he just picked it up really, really well because a lot of things like that are just kind of getting colored cubes, turning them in for points. So things like that are kind of really cool to watch kids kind of learn in the way that they change play. So hopefully Splendor Kids will be another good way to, for people to introduce their kids to strategic gameplay. Mighty Boards will be bringing over the card game 10B. This is a town building card game. This was originally from Cozy Cub Games. This will be out later this year. I just saw kind of this on BGG and even on kind of an announcement that it was being brought over here, but they haven't really said a price or anything at all. This is a pretty cool little card game with kind of the way you're doing a lot of the drafting to get the cards and to do the different actions and to get other cards to put into your town. It kind of reminds me of a smaller version of Santa Monica in the way that you're playing your cards together, next to each other, either have peers or kind of part of the town. So it looks pretty cool. This particular game is about an hour, one of those 1 hour wonders, plays 1 to 5 players and has that kind of light to medium. I'd say kind of more on the light end, but has a little bit of strategy to it as well. Let's head on over to crowdfunding to start with. We're going to start with GameFound today because I mentioned this a while ago, and this is gigantic. So this is Arc Nova 3 Edition. This is basically, they call it it's to celebrate the number 3 overall ranking on BGG, and it's just climbing. It's so good. Arc Nova is one of the greatest games in my collection, one of my favorite games, and a former Geek All-Star Game of the Year as well. But this kind of has the treatment that they put Castles of Burgundy and Le Grand, just kind of the gigantic, overproduced in a great way, just huge, just pieces for all the different enclosures and everything else. This is going to cost you a bit, €260. It is over 1.5 million. So if you know what you're getting into with those other games like the Le Grand or the Castles of Burgundy crazy edition, that's what this is going to be looking like as well. It's got 3.5 weeks to go, but you just got to check this one out. So if you have the money to get this, I'd love to see pictures when this comes in. I just want to play this at least once. But man, really, really cool. I'm just kind of a sucker for this, but there's no way I'm buying this, but I'd love to play it as well. One of my favorite games of all time, and one of the first games that got me into real love of deck building, is Ascension. Now, the Ascension 15th Anniversary Edition from Stone Blade Entertainment is up there on GameFound as well. It's got a lot of they've got the Anniversary Edition. I think you can get in on some of these older editions as well. It is one of my favorite games. I play this game literally every single day. I still play on the app on my phone. And for somehow, I've been playing with the same dude that I played with in the 15 years ago when I played in the World Series or the World Championships of Ascension and finished in the top 10, by the way. When I finished all the way back then, I picked up this dude's name on the app, and I've been playing with him for 15 years and haven't met him since then. But it's pretty funny. I play every single day on the app. It's such a great game to play. So if you're not going to pick up this 50th anniversary edition, you should pick up the app on your iPhone or any phone or wherever you do play it. I think there's even a Steam version. I know there's definitely an online version where you can get the app for that as well. But this has got about a week and a half to go. It is well funded, and you can get the anniversary edition for about $100. The game's so good. It's one of my favorite games of all time. Next up, not really my favorite game, but I did see this new expansion here. This is Blood Rage Valhalla. This is at a $680, about almost $700,000 as of this recording, and you got about 3.5 weeks to go. I know Tabletop Tycoon Games just kind of got the rights to Blood Rage, and now they put out the expansion. I know they've kind of been holding on to that for a little while to get that released, and now that it's on GameFound. So if you're a big fan of Blood Rage, this expansion does look great. Not my cup of tea, Blood Rage, but I will play it from time to time. Not kind of something I want to own. It is just kind of insane and nuts, but in a good way. And that's kind of the craziness of it. If everything is overpowered, then nothing is overpowered. Is kind of how I say about Blood Rage. But anyway, a lot of people love this one, and you may want to check out this expansion. Heading on over to Kickstarter, we've got Prestige. This is from Skellig Games. It's got about a week to go. It is funded. Now, it's not quite, it is kind of fairly well funded, but not in that like insane level. But this is a kind of heavier weight Euro that I think looks amazing. This is kind of your 2 to 3 hour heavier weight Euro from Skellig Games. And man, it looks great. This looks like everything I love in kind of a heavier weight Euro. It almost kind of, parts of it kind of remind me of Pillars of the Earth and kind of the way kind of the actions are going and such, and kind of building things on the map there. But it's all about building your own kind of mansion and making it better than everybody else's, or building your castle to be better. But man, it looks really good. This is one I really want to check out once it comes out. Next up, Assassin's Creed Animus, the board game. This is about 2.5 weeks ago. Well funded, put out by Mantic Games. So just hearing Mantic Games, you kind of know what you're in for here with some minis and just large, sprawling gameplay. It looks interesting. It's an IP game, so I'm not sure. It does look like they've got all the different Assassin's Creeds in there somehow in the game and kind of as you're playing it. But it is one that I didn't want to miss. I wanted you to check out and see if you would like it. I think it looks like the Master's Assassin Pledge for about $100. Oh, I completely forgot. Prestige, to get in on that one, is about $59 US. That's really good. That's just a base pledge. And then there's a full beauty for about $100 there. Assassin's Creed, back to that one, about $100 to get in on that one. There is kind of the higher pledges there for about 156, which all the different, it says the Language Master Assassin's Pledge, French, Spanish, or German language pack for that. So if you want the US, again, it would be the regular pack would be about $136 or €100 to get in on that one. And finally, this was a game that was on my to try list for Gen Con. I never did find it there, but Satchel Quest, a bag building adventure board game, very light. This is from Tim Eisner. This is a unique, they call it a unique bag building adventure game. And I'd say that's probably pretty much what it is. 1 to 4 players, plays in about an hour. So it's probably going to be a real fun solo game to play, where I don't know how much fun, the multiplayer aspect would be, but just being able to pull these wooden chits out of a bag, and then you're kind of putting them in your kind of dungeon as you're delving through the dungeon. And then kind of as you're going through, you're going to be then kind of triggering each thing as you're going down into the dungeon. There's a little bit of player powers there, and just seems like a very light, cheeky, fun game to play. It's got about 4 weeks to go, well funded. And to get on this, about $70 for the deluxe edition. I think you're going to want the deluxe edition, mainly because of the kind of the wooden pieces that you've got in there. The regular edition is only about $50, but that deluxe edition looks really good and not too much of a price there. So there you have it. Satchel Quest looks really good to me, and I think you might want to check that out. Some good games there and some good news as well. So thanks for joining me today. If you see any news you think I'd like to feature, shoot me a message at GeekJockDan on Twitter, or you can check out the Geek All Stars on Instagram and shoot me a message there, or come to the Discord and let me know in there what you may want me to feature on the next Munchkin Minute as well. And please check out Majorspoilers.com for more content by Steven and the rest of the Major Spoilers crew. And of course, check out the Geek All Stars podcast. As always, I am Dan the Board Game Man, and I'll see everyone in a couple weeks for another Munchkin Minute.
This podcast is copyright 2025 by Major Spoilers Entertainment, LLC.